Welcome to the first video all about constructions. In order to take these notes, you need to get your book. That's the most important thing. You're going to need something to write with, and if you have it, a compass would be really useful, right? But you definitely need some kind of straight edge. So you could get a protractor, a ruler, another piece of paper, whatever will work, okay? Today's video is all about CS1. Okay, so flip your book open to this section. Okay, so you can see here's the fold, here's CS1. This is the first one. Okay, today we're going to learn how to make congruent lines. All right, so the first part to know is you need to know what this means. Okay, now lines, that's easy, right? That's a line. All right, the word congruent means equal, okay? So it's essentially the geometry word for equal. We use congruent whenever you're talking about shapes. So you wouldn't say these two squares are equal, you would say they are congruent. These two lines are congruent instead of these two lines are equal, right? Because numbers are equal, but shapes are congruent. And I'll talk about that word a lot, but so today you're learning how to make equal lines. Or another way to put it is this is how to copy a line. Okay? So that's what you're learning today, how to copy the line. So when you're doing this, you're going to want to show the steps. So I'm just going to split my paper right in half, like so. Okay? My little equals in the way, but that's okay. All right? And you have two categories. So we'll do a little line chart. Okay? So on this side, you're going to have the steps in words, okay? And on this side, you're going to have a picture representation of it, okay? Now, it's important to know what the problem will look like, okay? So it always starts with step 1, all right? Or I guess it would be more step 0, right? So here's the problem. Okay, he'll always give you some line to start with. So I'm going to do it on the picture side. Okay, so I'm just going to make it a little line. It doesn't matter how long you make it, okay? And we're going to call this line A, B. So you put little endpoints. So you always begin with a line, right? And are asked to copy it. Sometimes we'll say, draw a congruent line, or a lot of times they'll give you the steps and they'll say what they do wrong or which construction are they performing, okay? So, but basically they're telling you to take this line and to copy it, okay? So step 1, and I'm going to box my steps today, okay? Step 1, okay, is to draw a line. Okay, so that's very, very simple. And you actually want to make sure the line is longer. Okay, so to draw a line, okay, and I'm going to actually call one of the ends C. Okay. And you don't have to use C, but I use C, A, B, C makes sense, right? Okay, step 2. Yeah, so if you need to number it, right, this was step number 1. Okay, so now we're going to do step number 2. Okay, in step number 2, right, you need to measure line segment AB, right, that's how you write line segment, so when you have a little line on top, it means line, okay, line segment AB using compass. So what that means is you're taking your compass, okay? And you're putting the pointy part on A and the pencil on B, just like so. And I usually mark it with a little thing. So I'm going to redraw AB, okay? So I know what to do. And you just take your compass and you would make a little, what we call an arc, okay? So this is called an arc. Now, if you don't have a compass, essentially to show that you did that step, you would just draw an arc, okay? All right, so the arc, right, this shows you measured A, B. Now, it's important that once you have your compass open, that you leave it at this width, at this radius, because you're going to need this measurement later. So take this, and you're just going to put this aside. So I'm going to put this down here, okay? Actually, I'm going to move it out of my way. All right? Step 3 is to draw measurement onto the line with endpoint C. Okay, so step 3 is to take that line, that really long one. Now this line you already have drawn, but, okay, remember it had C at the end, and you take that measurement from AB, and you move it so that it's on C, and you draw another little arc, okay? Now where this arc hits the line, we're going to call D, okay? Name the new endpoint D. Okay? So now you can see we have two segments that are named A, B, and CD. So essentially, once you draw this, you could take your eraser and erase. So I'm just going to make it dotted now, okay? Can erase the end. Leftover line. Okay, so you could erase the leftover line. So these measurements, they would be exactly the same. In fact, you measure AB, it's 1.5 inches. If you measure CD, it's also 1.5 inches. And now it's important to realize what the end product will look like, so I'm just going to use my top portion to do that. All right, so the final construction, right, with markings will look like this. It will have the original, and it will have a longer line. Remember, this is C, and then it would have your mark here and your mark here. So you can see I basically just went through and did the construction again, okay? And then you can always use your eraser to erase this. Now I'm going to leave it dotted just so I can see it. So you can see that is how you construct. So if you ever see a picture look like this, right, that is what the final construction would look like, and that's how you recognize it, okay? Now remember, this is important, right, because this, right, important, right, because this is how you measure a distance with a compass, right? This is also how you copy a line so that it's exactly the same. You have two, oh, don't use the word equal, congruent line. So if you ever wanted to make a square that was the same, you would have to use this 4 times, all right, so that you would end up with 2 squares that are exactly the same. And this is how you do CS1.